Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Jonathan Boyle, and welcome to the Newbie Real Estate Investor Podcast.
And I'm Joey Chan, and we have a special guest today.
Eddie Lopez, EKJ, checking in today.
Awesome, and we'll just get right into it. So, Eddie, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, man, of course. So my name is Eddie Lopez. I am part one of a two-man team. I work alongside my younger brother, Kyle Lopez. That's where we make up EKJ, Eddie, Kyle, and then I've got a younger brother named Jason. We've been real estate investors we're probably pushing on about 3 years now. It feels like it was about 2 years of climbing up a glacier. So it was tough towards the beginning, but within this last year, we've really been able to go ahead and get a little bit of traction, catch a little bit of momentum. So I'm glad to invite you guys into our latest project here.
Thank you. Oh yeah, thanks. We didn't even mention yet, we're in your latest project here in Hasbrook Heights. So, how'd you get started in real estate?
I got started in real estate, so a little bit of more background about myself. I'm an HR guy at heart. So I graduated Rutgers University back in 2014. I studied human resource management, communication, and organizational leadership. I was in the luxury fashion world for about 4 years until the day that I actually asked for a day off. I asked for a day off. The policy was it has to be 31 days in advance. I asked, I think it was 27 or 28, and they said no. As of that day was the day that I kind of really put the brakes on the corporate career, and I started attending some of the real estate meetup events, which is where we've met. So I started to dabble into that little by little, kind of half-assing it, I'm not going to lie, until my brother, he was actually graduating NJCU around this same time.
Okay.
So when he was about to graduate, he had a choice of either I'm going to go into the real world or, we're going to go ahead and give this a shot. So thanks to him, I said, you know what, it's now or never. We jumped from the cliff. I quit my job cold turkey before I even was close to my first deal. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but now it seems like a good idea a few years later, and that's pretty much how we got started in the game.
Nice. So which brother are you mentioning?
I mentioned my brother Kyle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I have two brothers. I'm talking about Kyle. He just turned 25 last week.
Okay, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kyle.
Thank you. He's over here. He was really the catalyst that we had been doing it little by little. He was the catalyst behind it. What we used to do actually was, so I would go and I would struggle through my job from 9 to 5, and then at around 5:15 he'd be waiting for me at Starbucks. So at 5:15, what we would do is we would go to Starbucks and we would study. We would assign each other articles. We would read through the articles, ask each other what we learned, and then just kind of go from there.
That sounds familiar. Didn't we meet back then? I don't remember.
Yeah, we've been in contact for a long time.
Oh man, I just realized this. Now I remember. Oh my god.
Yeah, man. It's been a long time.
You meet so many people, and then you don't connect it. But wow.
It's been a journey. I mean, I'm sure you guys know it's been a journey to get to where we are this far. And we hope that we made a lot of the bigger mistakes. Yeah. We know there are a whole bunch left. You guys
don't worry.
I mean, there's so many mistakes and hurdles to get through. It's unbelievable. And also, by the way, congrats on the meetup you had last night. The presentation was really good.
Oh, we appreciate that. Yeah. Thanks. That's a big credit to to Glenn Gallucci. Yeah. He's been our godfather throughout the entire process. I mean, it's actually funny. We found our notes from one of his meetups from January 2017.
Wow.
So that's where we got our start. So for us, it was humbling, and we have real gratitude towards them for the fact that we like to be just like you, right? We like to be a voice for the people who read about it, who take notes, but they're afraid to take action. So we like to think of ourselves as just a template that it is possible. You just got to show up every day. But it is possible, here we are, we're real proud of this one. I'm proud to be sitting here with these guys, and
definitely.
It's out there, you just got to go get it.
Yeah, no, this is, as a contractor myself, I look at the work. It is really, really good work over here. I see that You didn't cut any corners. You know, a lot of things were done really nicely here.
Now we appreciate it. And that's a big compliment to my brother.
Yeah. Sure.
You know, because within the four walls, this is his ground. You know, within the four walls, he's the brain. He calls the shots. You know, he ends up telling me what to do, and I listen. So I really handle more of the organizational, administrative aspect of it.
Okay.
But when it comes to the construction, he's the muscle.
Yeah, and you do the social media aspect too.
I do the social media. I do the presentations. Like I said, I come from this background. Just it was in luxury fashion, watches and makeup, and now we just kind of translate it into houses.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Also, because I know we spoke a little bit offline about this house. Can you talk a little bit more with the audience? Like, because one thing I love about this that you did was you had a very big value add aspect to this.
Right.
So can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah.
Because like all deals, you know, like they're not just, you know, you make deals, and this is what you know, EKJ did. They made a deal out of something that others may not have seen right away. So. Right.
So when we actually bought this exact property, we were coming in, you know, aggressively at about 1,040, 1,060 square feet. So the property had been abandoned about 2-3 years. So we really came in and cleaned house, especially on the first floor in regards to the layout. So what we did was the house had an exterior porch in the back. We were probably thinking maybe it was a value add of about 60, 70 square feet. We eliminated the back door and we turned the space in the back of the house into a bedroom, into what we like to call a master suite. But without putting the bathroom in the bedroom. When you have guests over, you don't want them walking through your bedroom to get to the bathroom. So that's what we did. We actually just kind of brought that space back into the house. We closed off the back door. We brought a side door, which you guys might see over there. We brought the side door back to life, and that's what we were able to accomplish here. That's probably the biggest value add component that we had. That and along, what you guys have noticed when we did the walkthrough a little bit earlier, just the kind of little features that we've included, like the Ring doorbell, the Nest thermostat system. Guys like us, modern guys. These are things that we look for in a house. The whole intention behind this property was for it to be a plug and play. You show up with your suitcases, your clothes, and you're ready to go.
Yeah, it's nicely done, like I said.
Oh, we appreciate that. Thank you.
No, that's awesome. So Eddie, another question, because I know you do all your projects yourself. I know you sub out a little bit, but you're a contractor as well, so you GC the whole project.
Right.
What are some of the pros and cons you've seen doing that?
Oh, that's a great question. So actually, the reason that we are a GC was because this is probably our sixth project that we've brought home from A to Z, whether it be for a mentor or whether it be just EKJ as a sole entity. I have all the respect in the world for contractors, but we just kept getting taken advantage of left and right. There wasn't a plumber and electrician that couldn't sense the blood in the water, that couldn't sense the fact that we had absolutely pretty much no idea what we were talking about. And they would just get us left and right over and over. So with this project, what we did was my brother actually went out and he got his general contracting license. We got our insurance. So now we're fully licensed and insured. And with this project, we said we're going to be in 100% control of the budget. We're going to be in 100% of control of the construction, 100% control of sourcing the material, and then 100% in control of the project timeline. So that's pretty much exactly what we did. It's not necessarily because we wanted to or because we imagined ourselves being big contractors one day, but we were left with almost no choice. So that's what we were able to do here. We GC'd this project entirely. The only things that we didn't do were the mechanicals that required outside stamps for the permits.
Of course.
So we did everything in here ourselves, the demo, the clean out, the carpentry, the framing, the finishing we did ourselves. The only things that we subbed out were the plumbing, the electrical, as well as the HVAC. And one of my good friends from way back in the day happens to have an HVAC company, so he came in and helped us with that. And the exterior siding. And then anything outside of those four practices, we pretty much did it ourselves. My brother, our main guy, the Bang, shout out to the Bang, and myself.
Nice. Yeah, no. I saw you doing the steps in the back.
Yeah. You know, we learn. You know, so what we'll do is typically at night, what we'll do, and this is a good tip for a lot of the, you know, the newbie investors. We would sit through, if we knew that we were going to come in tomorrow and we needed to install corner beams or we need to install, you know, base molding, we would sit in front of the television for maybe an hour or two and just YouTube videos. YouTube, corner beams. We'll go through 5-6 videos, we'll look at each other, we'll compare notes, sleep on it, let it marinate, and then we would come in at least with an idea as to how these things are done, and we would do our best to execute.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So let's get off that a little bit. Let's kind of rewind a little and talk about how you sort of got started. You know, how did you find your first deal? You know, how did that happen?
It's actually a sad story.
Okay.
It's a really
Let's
sad
hear it.
story.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, in regards to our first few projects, you'll hear it online and you'll hear it on social media. You know, work for free because you'll get the experience that you need, and then you could eventually go ahead and branch out. And that's exactly what we did. So we found a mentor, or a mentor found us. He saw us that we were young, we're hungry, we're ambitious, you know, we're well spoken, perfectly bilingual.
Yeah.
We were the perfect catch for this guy. So what he did was he brought us onto his team, and we went willingly before we knew any better. We did it all. We did it all from closing properties to working on the construction of the properties to sourcing material and labor. So there were a few properties that we brought for this guy from A to Z. And these were bigger 3 families in Newark, as well as one in Patterson. So that's where we really got our experience. And, you know, we look back now, and I wouldn't say we laugh just yet, but we look back now and, you know, it's bittersweet. But our first experiences in real estate were a result of just having a mentor who turned out, in all honesty, to not be the greatest person in the world. Actually, probably one of the worst. But we did learn something there, right? So I was working as a secretary on the administrative end, and then my brother was working for free. And we did this probably for about 1.5 years. We worked for free.
Wow.
Just with empty promises that at the end of the rainbow, we're going to get you a house, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And they're all just words. So one of the things that you know, I'd like to go ahead and express is, you know, there are a lot of guys out here, and that's why this podcast specifically, I think, is so great, for the simple fact that we're talking to normal people who are actually doing it, because there are a lot of guys that will sell you a dream. There are a lot of guys that will sell you, you know, especially some of the self-proclaimed gurus.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll sell you systems and processes and this and that. But you really it's really important to be careful and not let ambition really get the best of you, and really make sure that both of your feet are on the ground and your brain is where it needs to be, your thought process, just to make sure that you don't get taken advantage of, because especially in something like this where people think that it moves quite fast.
Yeah.
Even I used to think it moves fast, you know, man, in 4 or 5 years, you know, what do you want, a Lambo or a Ferrari? But you know, so those experiences towards the beginning were the ones that really teached us. Now we also we were able to get out of that situation barely, and then we got into another partnership, which now we're looking back was another bad idea. You know, it didn't turn. You know, we all had the best intentions coming in, but it didn't turn out as well as you would think, which is why I have so much respect for you guys, because I know you guys do a lot of work together, and it seems to work seamlessly. But that's really how we got our first actionable steps into real estate, was working for somebody else for free for a really long time.
Wow. For 1.5 years to work for free?
For free, 100% for free. Yeah.
You know, if I was 18, 19, 20, you know, didn't really have any bills, I'd be okay with that.
Right.
But, you know, at this stage in my life, I have way too many bills. I couldn't do it.
Oh, no way.
You know, I couldn't imagine too many people being able to do that for that long. Maybe 6 months, but 1.5 years.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah.
And, you know, my brother and I, what we would do, and this is what people don't see, right? What we would do is, so we would work, you know, 6 to 6. And even just until about a few months ago, we Uber almost every night. which is this is the stuff that
Yeah.
that we don't necessarily throw
I
on
was
Instagram
actually-
or social media or Facebook.
I was actually going to bring that up because I know we spoke about that before, and that really shocked me, but in a positive way. Because it's like you're out there doing it, you're making it happen. Because I remember when we were at that 3-family in Bloomfield, you're like, yeah, I still Uber, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't believe it.
Yeah, because you got to do what you got to do to be able to pay the bills. Because like this isn't an overnight thing.
Not at all.
No.
So. Like,
no, I mean,
I'm waiting on at least like 4 payouts for 4 different properties.
Yep. Yeah, so that's what we did. We would work all day towards the dream. We acknowledged and we knew that we were working for free, but towards something bigger. And we would Uber at night. And that's what we would do. He would throw on a pair of headphones, I would throw on mine, and we would talk to each other, keep each other busy on the phone. Talk about what we did throughout the day, and we'd be Ubering probably. So we worked 6 to 6, and then maybe 7 to 10, 7 to 10:30. We were out on the road.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's working hard right there.
It's the only way to do it. It's the only way to do it. We made the decision to jump off the cliff in regards to a typical W-2. And then this is what that was our only solution. It was either we go out and we get a job, and then we have to kind of put our dream on the back burner, or we work towards what we know we can do, and we Uber at night, and it was a pretty easy decision for us.
Nice. Yeah, I was wondering, going back, and you were saying that, hey, I'm working for free, but how are you paying your bills all that time? So now I see.
Uber, I definitely recommend it.
Yeah. No, I mean you work your own hours, all that other stuff.
Right.
Like there was a point a while back I was actually thinking of doing it myself too. Like I used to Uber before I got into real estate.
Right.
But now that I have this whole sticker and
Now
everything,
it's different, right?
I probably can't.
No, we did it for a long time, and then even then, to this day, if we catch ourselves, we're like, man, we're a little short here, we're a little bit short over there. All right, let's go Uber.
Yeah.
And we work it out that way.
Yeah. So I tried to get into Uber a few years ago, and they were like, oh, your minivan. So I have a black Toyota Sienna. It looks like an Uber car, right? The perfect Uber car. And they were like, oh, your car's too old.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that.
So it didn't qualify.
Yeah. Yeah, we've actually towards the end of the Bloomfield project, which we literally just barely crawled to the finish line. Although we were able to still make some decent money on it, but we finished that one 100% ourselves before we knew any of the construction. My car actually, so I was so engulfed by what we do, by our business, by closings, by construction, by keeping timelines, that and this is funny, right? People are gonna laugh, but I hadn't changed the oil in my Nissan. I drive a 2014 Nissan Altima. I hadn't changed the oil in almost 2 years.
Oh my god.
Now, in my defense, the light never came on. But, on top of that, we were just so involved in all these other issues that we were dealing with that changing the oil in the car was actually couldn't be further than the last thing on my mind.
You just reminded me, my light just went on.
Yeah, man, please take care of it.
My other car, the
Please
lights
take
on.
care of it. Yeah, so I was about so the fix was about a $4,000 fix. Now we came Uber. And so I was about 4 months carless.
Wow.
Still finding a way to do what we had to get accomplished. It's cool to talk about it now. But at the moment it's rough. Yep.
Wow. So I know. So I gotta say, because so far it seems like you've had a lot of hurdles you had to jump. Are there any other hurdles that you've had to go through so far? Because like this is just some things that the audience gotta hear, because a lot of people think it might be easy.
Oh, it couldn't be further from easy. In regards to other hurdles, I had them listed. So we went through, deceiving mentors. We went through partnerships that go sour. We went through car breaking down when your only source of income is Uber. Like I said, so for the first few years, it felt like we were literally just trekking up a glacier wearing Crocs. Literally, like try to imagine it, and that's exactly what it was like. I mean, if we had $1 for every time that we looked at each other at night and said, bro, you know what, man, like I think we're gonna be all right. I think we're gonna be cool. We wouldn't even need to do real estate because we would be more than well off of that. But those were about the biggest hurdles that we faced in our climb. Like I said, thankfully, within the past few months since we were able to start this project and the one prior, we're really starting to figure it out. We're finally starting to figure it out. We're finally starting to get a hold on the construction. We're finally starting to get a hold on the timelines. My brother's been killing it in his aspects of what he takes care of. And what we did here to just kind of cement ourselves in being able to say that we know what we're doing in regards to construction was like I was saying a little bit earlier. We haven't even looked at a property for almost 2 months for the simple fact that we were in here every single day. I can walk you through this entire house. I can tell you what size screws are where, what types of screws are where. I can tell you what kind of hardwood it is, what type of appliances, how to put in a door frame. Not that we plan on necessarily doing it ourselves moving forward, but just so that at least when we hire somebody, can you go ahead and install this window frame, please? I can look at it and know whether it's right or wrong now. As opposed to just kind of taking your word for it. Then when the windows finally do come in, they don't fit. By that time, you're gone.
Yeah, it's too late.
You're gone. You might come back if you've got some free time, but chances are you moved on to something else, and now it's my problem.
Especially if you already paid.
Correct. Yeah, we've been through that.
Yeah.
Our biggest hit in regards to contractor walking away was probably close to about like 17 grand. And I say that honestly now because that's the idea of what we're doing here, right? For people to get a real in-life look at
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I know from my Lake Opatcon deal, it's been I got hit at least 3-4 months and about like 9-10K easily, and he's supposed to pay me back the 10K within 8-month time frame. So it's like, will he do it? Will he not? It could be more how much I got hit.
Yeah.
But you live and you learn,
That's it. The idea is really to just show up every single day. You're allowed to show up a little late sometimes. You can leave a little early on a Saturday if you'd like. Right. But as long as you show up every single day, that's what we preach. We always tell each other that from our perspective, it'll never be a lack of effort. Mm-hmm. It will absolutely never, ever be a lack of effort.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, awesome. So, Eddie, I'm curious, because I know you said you had a 3-family in Bloomfield, this property here in Hasbrook Heights. Do you have a set criteria you look for a property?
So typically, since we've gotten this project done, we've definitely shifted our focus a bit. When we first got introduced to the game, it was all about Newark. Everybody's in Newark. Everybody wants the 3 families in Newark. When we started maybe 2.5 years ago, it used to be we would pick them up for 85, 90K. Mm-hmm. Now you're looking at them, you're paying for a 3-family shell. I can't even, some of these wholesalers send me stuff and it just blows my mind.
Yeah, 160, 180. Yeah,
so when we first got involved, we were all 100% into that over there. So what we've done since this project, and I'll just speak candidly, so what we were thinking is, the 3 families are cool. Mm-hmm. But what are we doing? We're going into a dilapidated neighborhood. We are just kind of throwing makeup on a pig. We're doing our rehabs and we're trying to do them the right way. Yeah. But we already know that at the end of the day, what's going to happen? An investor's going to come and he's going to buy this property. He's going to Section 8 it. He's going to let it go altogether, and it's just into the wind. It's over there for us. Because we knew that we weren't going to be buying and holding just yet. We weren't even nearly towards that capacity just yet. Mm-hmm. We knew exactly what was going to happen, and it did. So we just kind of sat down and we said, let's try to find something a little bit closer to home. Let's try to find something in Bergen County, something that's ugly, that we can go ahead and make beautiful, make a nice profit on. Yeah. And that'll be a bit more fulfilling, for the simple fact that, we know that a family's going to move in here. Yep. And they're going to enjoy it, and they're going to make memories in it. And, we're always going to have this little piece of something that EKJ put together and we're just kind of leaving it for the world. You know, here we feel like we're making it a better place. And that's nothing, you know, eventually, hopefully we graduate to that buy and hold in maybe more inner cities. You know, we'll graduate there to that point. But for now, we're pretty content where we are in regards to just bringing these little single families to life and making it something that somebody can enjoy. So right now, we're focused primarily on, we can do 1s and 2s in Bergen or Passaic County.
Okay.
It's what we're really looking for.
Nice.
Okay, that makes sense. Sorry, I'm like looking at the other questions we have for you. So, you know, like, you've been in the business around the same time frame as I, you know, like 3 years or so.
From back when we used to go to Retro, remember we used to be at Retro?
I know, we kept meeting at Retro. And it's like, oh, you got something going on?
Long time ago, man.
No, but, so what's like some of the best advice you've gotten from someone, you know, getting started or even now?
The best advice that I've ever gotten thus far, and I think you'll appreciate this especially, is show me, don't tell me. Right? So whether you are buying a property or selling a property, you know, the thing about real estate is that there's really no barrier of entry to get into the game. You know, there are no certifications or licenses to become a wholesaler. There are no certifications or licenses or degrees that you need to become a contractor, to become an investor. Really, for anything, even a private money lender, I'm sure if you've got it, you can go ahead and throw it and shoot it around. So one of the things that we've learned, not only from when we were wholesalers, but being on this end as well, is that show me, don't tell me, right? Because a lot of the times what we'll do is, especially as wholesalers, we'll try to force the numbers to fit into the criteria. I know exactly what you're looking for to the T. And vice versa, and this way as well, right? So it's really a matter of, oh, you know, I think that this duplex across the street, I think it'll sell for $470. You know, blah, blah, blah. All right, you know, not that I don't trust you, but go ahead and show me. Show me the comps, please, and then you know, we can move forward from there. So they should lead with showing. Another good piece of advice, you know, which I said before, and I'll always draw this one down, is just continue to show up every day, because you're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have bad days, you're gonna have really bad days, and you're gonna have worse days. Seriously.
Then you'll have the good day at closing.
Then you have the good day. You know, closing days are good days. But aside from that, it's just really a matter of, you know, keeping your circle small, surrounding yourself with good guys who are, you know, for the most part, going to look out for your best interest. You know, like, how much have we already talking about the kitchens and the countertops and whatnot? You know, moving forward, we'll be able to work together on that. It's just a really, really effective showing up every day. You really got to commit to it 1,000%, because there's no such thing as a plan B out here.
Yeah. I think Will Smith said it best. Why don't have a plan B, because it diverts from plan A.
Correct. Just like that. Just like that. You know, it would have been easy to go back and find maybe a part-time and get a real job, but we're like, no, man, you know, this is going to interfere with what we're trying to do. Uber is our solution. And every morning we show up. Every single morning we show up.
Exactly. So, Eddie, what do you have any books or podcasts you'd recommend to the audience for them to listen to or read?
I mean, Rich Dad Poor Dad, of course. That's number one. I read that probably a few times a year. Now, and then in regards to podcasts, my number one, you know, after this one, of course, has always been the Bigger Pockets podcast. 100%. That's where we started. Like I said, we used to go to Starbucks. We used to assign ourselves Bigger Pockets articles on wholesaling specifically, and that's where we started. I'm sure we've got the binder out there somewhere still, where we've got, you know, just tons and tons and tons of notes on these. So if I had to recommend someone, Rich Dad Poor Dad, if you're here, I'm sure you've at least gotten that far. But Bigger Pockets is the place to be in regards to anything real estate related. These guys.
You'll learn anything you need from the forums.
It's all there.
Yeah.
It's
any
all
questions
there.
You've had, I promise you someone's answered. Or if they haven't answered it for some reason because it's so specific, just reach out to someone
directly, right?
Directly.
Yeah, can reach out to us. You know. Also, guys, don't forget. Make sure you like and subscribe. Okay. this podcast.
To the podcast, both on YouTube and the Apple Store.
Apple.
There you go.
Yeah.
100%. Like, subscribe, share. Let's go ahead and help these guys grow. Let's get it out as far as we possibly can, because it really does bring value that didn't exist. What are we on? You guys are on episode 6,
Well,
7, 8.
this would be this would be probably 7 or 8.
Right. So this is a real good inside look in regards to what people are actually doing specifically in North New Jersey. And I'm sure you can speak to Central and South as well. But
South not yet, but soon.
I'm sure. I don't got it. So it's really and this is some real valuable content. So whether we don't answer something that you've got or an issue that you might be facing, you can reach out to. I mean, I'm sure these guys and me, myself as well, and we'd be more than glad to help. We'd be more than glad to help in regards to helping you realize what you definitely don't know just yet.
Yeah. Closed mouths don't get fed.
At all.
Yep. Yeah. So Eddie, how can people reach you on social media? Give them your
Instagram, Facebook,
whatever
you want.
else
Phone
you want.
number if you want.
Yeah, of course. So we run most of our social media through my Instagram.
Mhm.
So it's at EKJ. E is in Eddie, K is in Kyle, J is in Jason. At EKJ Eddie, EDDIE is my Instagram. You guys know I like to post a lot on my story in regards to what the day-to-day looks like for us. And it's actually kind of cool because we had our first open house on Sunday. And we actually had maybe like 4 or 5 people come through the open house who we had never met before, but they weren't even buyers. They only came through the open house. They said, "We've been following your stories for so long."
Oh wow!
It was only right.
They
that
felt
we
invested in it,
right.
that they have to come.
They were like,
That's
it was
awesome.
only right
That's
that we come to the open house and we kind of see the final product for ourselves. So that made us feel pretty cool.
That's nice.
So at Instagram, EKJ Eddie. Facebook is facebook.com/EKJ Real Estate. And then you can hit me at my email if you'd like as well. It's EKJEddie again at gmail.com. EKJEddie@gmail.com. Totally, down to help anybody. As long as we see on our end as well, we don't like to waste our time the same. We wouldn't like to waste yours. So as long as, if you're really about it, and you're not just kicking tires, and this is something that you can see yourself doing in some capacity, by no means do you have to jump into wholesaling or investing. Definitely not investing or being a contractor. But if this is something that you think you're capable of, which I believe in you, and I'm sure these guys do too. Go ahead and reach out. That's the first step. Go to the meetups. Joey's a big contributor to a lot of the bigger meetups in the tri-state. I know you speak at some of them as well. Just really get out there. It's the first step to just kind of get out there and learn.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Have a good one.
I appreciate you guys for having me on.
No
Thanks a
problem.
lot.
Thanks for being on the podcast.
Always. My pleasure.
Yeah.
So take care, everyone.